Hey everybody, so this is my review of the Removu 4K Gimbal Camera. I've had this thing for about 2 months now. I've used it plenty. I've used it on a couple wedding shoots and just some personal shoots. I used it on Thanksgiving and I feel like I've used it enough now to give a good review. So let's go over it. Basically you have a whole camera solution right here. This is comparable to the DJI Osmo. DJI is the company that makes like the drones and stuff. They have something similar to this. It's a couple hundred more and you have to use your phone with it. Like there's a bracket that comes out and your phone attaches. It's kind of annoying because you have to use the app and I don't really care for that. What makes this thing so great, it's got the display right on there. So you don't have to use your phone. It's got a phone app that you can use, but this is completely self-sufficient. When you start it up, actually, when you store this thing, you want to keep it locked. This flips up and then this locks. That prevents it from wobbling around or potentially breaking. When you turn it on, you want to make sure you unlock both this and unscrew that. Otherwise, it'll give you some kind of error, and I've had that happen a couple times and it just slows you down because you have to restart the system and, you know, but it's good that it watches out for that. This thing is pretty incredible. The footage is not cinema quality, you know, like my 80D here has better quality, but this thing is perfect for when you're on the run. It's a good sports action camera. It's good for vlogging, when you need to grab something real quick. It's also great, like I said, I've used it at some weddings. It's great for like slow fluid movements when you're in a tight spot or when you want to like follow a bride up the aisle. It's really good for that. It shoots in 4K and it shoots in 30 frames a second 4K. It also shoots in 1080p up to 60 frames a second, and you can do super slow-mo up to 120 frames a second in 1080p, but it's not true 1080p. It's kind of fuzzy looking, so it's not the sharpest. But it's great for, you know, if you have good lighting, it's great. It's not as pixelated or blurry. It can also take 12 megapixel photos, and you got your photo button on one side, your video button on the other. It's got a trigger on the back, a menu button on the front, and the battery just comes in and out of the bottom here. There are 3 different modes on this thing. When you turn it on, it goes straight into pan mode. So the first mode is pan mode. That is when, no matter what I do, the camera's gonna stay level where it's facing. That's your pan mode. So like walking up an aisle with a bride, that's the best mode. Hit that trigger button again, you got your follow mode. That means it's gonna follow however you tilt it. See what it's doing? But it's staying stabilized no matter what. Now it's not perfect, but it's pretty good. And then you have your selfie mode. Hit it 3 times, it flips around, and you got your selfie mode. I don't use it a lot. It's cool to have though. Oh, and if you tap it twice, like real fast, it'll recenter. So, boop, it'll recenter. I got this at Best Buy for $3.99. I think that's about usually where it sits, is $3.99. It's got an ultra wide angle lens, so you do get some distortion. You can actually, they got a new update where you can go into the menu and you could change the view. You know, when you go to 1080p, it's not gonna be as distorted, but you can also change it to like a wide point of view, a narrow point of view, or a medium point of view. So you just deal with the distortion. When you're shooting outside and you're not trying to make like somebody look good, the 4K with the wide view is fine. You're gonna have that distortion, but it's nature, it doesn't really matter. I wouldn't do it with like a bride because it's gonna make her look bigger than she is, and we know that's not a good thing. So I would give this thing 4 out of 5 stars. I like that it's all included, you know, like the screen is on it. There's a cool trigger, everything's accessible. It's big enough for people with big hands, but it's not too big for people with small hands. It's comfortable, and it's pretty responsive. It does a pretty good job. It takes micro SD cards. They just slip in right there. Mine's up to, I think, 128. And it's also got a microphone input. So you can buy like a little shotgun microphone. I don't know how you would attach it. I'm guessing it's just like a little dongle that sits in there. The audio quality is fine. Straight out of the camera without a microphone, it's fine. So I haven't purchased that yet. I did buy a spare battery just because these batteries don't last too long and it's nice to always have a spare. It comes with like a little carrying case. It's like a microfiber elastic hybrid. It just sits right in there, zips up. And like I said, you know, you turn it off, make sure that you lock the little gimbal in place, just like that. It was supposed to come with like a cap for the lens here. I never saw that cap. I don't know what happened to it, if it like flew out of the box or what. I haven't had it, but it's supposed to come with that. Just make sure it doesn't get scratched. I give it 4 out of 5 stars. I really like this thing. I would say it's worth the $400. I played around with the DJI Osmo and I just don't like having to use my phone all the time. I could just shoot stuff on my phone if that was the case. I don't like having to like put the little stand out and then attach my phone and download the software and then update the software, and I just don't like doing that. And that's the one thing about drones that I don't like, especially my Mavic Pro. You got to use your phone with it, and it's just kind of obnoxious. So why can't they make something, you know, that's included in the system that doesn't rely on your phone? And this has that. So really recommend this for action shooters, vloggers, anybody that just wants a fun little camera. I do like for Thanksgiving, we were playing a game around the table and I was passing this along to everybody as we were playing it. It was really fun and made for a cool little video. So, the bug just flew up my nose. If you enjoyed this review and like the way this footage looks and you're thinking about getting one yourself, check out the link down in the description where you can find it.